Right now on WHAS 11 News at 5, we are facing the highest temperatures of the year so far as we approach the official start to summer. We'll show you how long this heat wave will last.
And your top stories at 5 o'clock tonight. A family allegedly living in a house with the body of an infant hidden inside in Kentucky. Today, the first of 8 suspects are in court. Plus, lawmakers building a task force for JCPS. How parents can apply to be on this panel. WHAS 11 News at 5 o'clock begins right now. Well, I don't have to tell you, if you've been outside, we've got a June heat wave kicking off this week. Dangerous heat index. It means it's going to feel much hotter than what you see on that thermometer. So it is time to watch out for one another across Kentuckiana. Please take care of your pets, get them out of this heat, and keep an eye on any elderly neighbors in this heat wave. And remember, your car turns deadly in seconds in this extreme heat to animals and people. Hello, everybody. Here at 5 o'clock, I'm Doug Proffitt. Right now, Christina San Juan has an update on the current temperature, the air quality, and any chances of rain. Christina, what are you seeing out there?
Well, Doug, a whole lot of heat, a whole lot of humidity, and not a whole lot of rain. We do have a few spotty showers that are pushing off into Du Bois County that I'll show you here in just a moment, but most of us going to be staying dry and unfortunately not getting any real relief from this serious heat that we're feeling outside. Actual air temperatures have us in the mid-90s in Louisville, stretching over to Shepherdsville. 88 right now, where we are getting a little bit of that rain in Jasper. So it is going to do wonders for your temperatures if you are lucky enough to actually have one of these briefly heavy downpours pass on through. But look at what the actual feel-like temperatures are, as we are feeling like we're in the triple digits around Shepherdsville, over to Springfield and in LaGrange. 103 is how it feels right now in Scottsburg. Certainly the hottest day of the year that we've had. As we take a look at max HD radar, you're seeing the sky light up quite a bit all around the Jasper area as these very small cells are pushing up to the north. Meanwhile, the rest of us, though, are just taking on this heat. Everyone's going to be drying out though as we go into the overnight hours and staying incredibly mild out the door. Temperature is going to be in the middle 70s, putting us at a head start for temperatures tomorrow. Tell you just how high they're going to soar coming up in just about 15 minutes. Doug.
Christina, thank you. Our top story right here at 5. The future of JCPS as one school district. Well, tonight you can play a role in the latest study on our school district size initiated by Kentucky Republicans. Kentucky lawmakers passed a resolution to create a task force to study JCPS back in March. Now they're looking for applicants. Our senior reporter Isaiah Kim Martinez and photojournalist Jessica Farley have the story. And Isaiah, you've been talking to Kentucky lawmakers. Of course, they've been watching all the headlines in Louisville with JCPS. What's their true motive in this?
Well, Doug, you got to imagine they've seen some of the test scores that has been the main driver to them. Reading, math, you name it, has been a struggle, not just for JCPS, but in areas across the state. But Superintendent Marty Pollio has made it very clear they're not afraid or against any audits on this. They've gotten quite familiar with them over recent years. Now, what public school advocates are nervous of are what they call predetermined recommendations. Today, a JCPS teacher and Democrat tells me she's hopeful that won't be the case here.
It is unusual to have lay people like this on a task force, so I appreciate that in the first place. It could have been, I mean, if it was up to Senator Thayer, they would have just split up the district without even studying it.
A look back at the vote on the Senate floor March 29th.
I would vote today to break it up. I would vote today to break it up into multiple school districts.
So I appreciate the fact that there is a task force before making a decision.
Starting in mid-July, 2 Jefferson County parents, a JCPS teacher, and a principal chosen off a list made by Superintendent Marty Pollio will join lawmakers to analyze the way the district is managed. That includes the impact its size has on student performance. Is that a fear of yours that the recommendation is going to be to split up the district no matter what happens here?
I've been told that there are no predetermined outcomes. However, if you read the document for the task force resolution, it does talk about researching splitting up districts. It doesn't talk about researching smaller class sizes or other ways to improve a district.
State Representative Tina Bojanowski of Louisville calls what she describes as leading information in the resolution concerning. She doesn't believe raw test scores tells the whole story of how kids are doing.
It is a little bit harder to cater to each school when it's such a large school and it's so diverse.
But Senator Mike Nemes of Shepherdsville, co-chair of the task force, says the point is to dig deeper into what can be improved. So ultimately, is assessing the possibility of splitting the district, is that a goal of yours at all?
No, not at all. It is like anything else. It could be a suggestion, and with the data for that and reasons for that or not would probably be in the report on why we should or should not be done. But as a goal, absolutely not. We have no specific goal except to make the schools better and to teach all of our kids, our students, better than what we're doing now.
Now back to the parents and teachers, Doug, who will be part of this. We're told they'll reflect the racial composition of the district itself, so you can expect there will be minority representation here, and they have until June 30th to apply. All information on that's on our website.
Well, let's talk about reality. People here split it up to 3 districts, but even the top Republicans have thrown water on that. You know, Marty Polio has said too costly. The logistics would be impossible to play out. You have 3 different separate superintendents. So even the Republicans have said they're really not leaning that way. So what is reality? How could our district change in any way?
You're reading between the lines here. Essentially, even in the document itself says we're going to study how other districts may have potentially split up their district or looked at splitting up their district. But what it comes down to it is lawmakers I talk to, more than anything else, they want to put pressure on JCPS to act in some way, shape, or form. There currently is not any legislation out there in the state to allow for a breakup of the district. So that still has to come this way. They're just trying to put pressure, is my understanding.
Plus, you're talking about the busing issues. You know, how do you get transportation to 3 separate districts?
Exactly.
With possibly 3 different leaders?
Being short as many bus drivers as they are, that's definitely a concern.
Okay, we'll have more on this at 6 too as well. Thank you, Isaiah. Well, a federal judge today ruled in favor of Kentucky's Attorney General blocking a rule protecting trans athletes in the Commonwealth. The Biden administration changed the Title IX rules to outlaw discrimination over gender identity as well as sex. But a Kentucky Attorney General Russell Coleman, along with 6 other attorneys generals, challenged the rule. The change would allow students to play sports under the gender they identify as, not necessarily their biological sex. Russell Coleman says this will protect women and girls in sports in Kentucky. There's only been 1 known transgender student who's fought to play. She was 13 years old. In a statement, he says, quote, "We are grateful for the court's ruling, and we'll continue to fight the Biden administration's attempts to rip away protections to advance its political agenda." This week, all eyes are on the Louisville Metro Council as it's gearing up to vote on the city's $1 billion budget for the upcoming fiscal year. Now, there's a special budget meeting planned for today to talk about some of the biggest line items in that budget. Louisville Mayor Craig Greenberg has already laid out a proposal with particular emphasis on public safety. $432 million would go to the Louisville Fire Department, EMS, and Louisville Metro Police Department. Mayor Greenberg has said that the money will be used to update the facilities, retain and recruit personnel, and buy technology for the departments. Louisville Fire Department specifically said its $87 million slice would mainly go towards raises and overtime. Louisville Fire Chief Brian O'Neill also argued raises are much deserved.
We've had a couple that are really in the public eye recently, but our members do this stuff day in and day out all the time. They take a tremendous amount of risk. They put their health on the line. Mayor Greenberg was very forward with us. That he's like, look, I'm here for public safety. He's talked about that, and this budget shows it.
While there is more than $1 billion in the Louisville budget, there are several organizations that would see budget cuts. The mayor's office said that's because federal rescue money, the planned money, is now drying up this year. Some nonprofits are included in those cuts. Under the mayor's budget last year, the Center for Neighborhoods got $50,000. In this year's proposal, it would get nothing.
We were able to sit down and think about this situation. But I know a lot of other organizations, this really caught them off guard.
The mayor has proposed more than $32 million go to affordable housing and plans to open 1 building of the new community care campus this year. Louisville Metro Council will vote on this full budget coming up this Thursday. 4 people connected to the case of the missing infant Maya Rudd were in court today, including her mother and father here in Kentucky. 8 people have been arrested in this case, all allegedly living in the home where Kentucky State Police found an infant's body. Troopers were searching for the baby girl for more than a week in Reynolds Station, Kentucky. Her parents, Cage Rudd and Tesla Tucker, her grandfather, Ricky Smith, and another man, Brody Payne, were in court today. Today in court, it was revealed investigators found meth residue in a room with a crib and diapers. All 4 pleaded not guilty on child abuse and drug charges. It was a weekend of gun violence across the country, mass shootings in Massachusetts, Texas, and Michigan. The shooting in Michigan happened at a splash pad. A mother and her 2 young boys among the hurt. Here's ABC's Perry Russum reporting from Washington.
A prayer vigil in Rochester Hills, Michigan, outside Detroit, after a mass shooting at this spray park.
When I got on scene, I started to cry because I know what a splash pad is supposed to be. It's supposed to be a place where people gather, where families make memories.
Police say more than 24 shots fired Saturday afternoon. 9 people hurt, including a mother and her 2 young boys. Her 4-year-old shot in the leg, her 8-year-old shot in the head. The 8-year-old is in critical condition.
People were falling, getting hit, trying to run.
The shooter escaping. Police finding a handgun left behind, tracing the gun to a house nearby.
We had police officers running up with weapons on both sides of the home.
Inside, police say they found the shooter dead and this long gun. Saturday night, a shooting in Round Rock, Texas, north of Austin, at a Juneteenth concert. 2 dead and 14 hurt, including 2 children.
It is unfortunate that we're here celebrating a wonderful event and we have a tragedy that happens.
And early yesterday morning, 7 people shot at this industrial park in the suburbs of Boston. Police say it happened at what they're calling a pop-up party organized on social media, with hundreds of people showing up.
And when you think about the ballistics evidence that we're recovering, it's incredible that not more people were hurt or killed.
So far this year, more than 14,000 people have been shot in the U.S., more than 7,000 people have been killed. Even with that, the FBI says the number of mass shootings has dropped dramatically, and most major cities are seeing a double-digit decrease in shootings this year. Perry Russum, ABC News, Washington.
The former leader of the Cornbread Mafia marijuana crime syndicate has died. Johnny Boone died Friday at a Marion County, Kentucky nursing home, according to the Nelson County Gazette newspaper. In 2016, Boone was arrested in Canada after being on the run for 8 years. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison. In 2018, Johnny Boone died at the age of 80 years old.